What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Today we're watching Salad Saiyan. What if Salad Saiyan was in Dragon Ball? You know what I'm saying? This was requested by White Blade. Shout out to that person right there, you know, commented on the video. And, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, man. It's a long one. 2 hours, 2 hours something long. So, it's going to be a lot of videos. So, you know what I'm saying? So, let's get into it.
So the biggest problem was trying to figure out how to put myself in here. I did a poll a few weeks ago asking what species the character should be. And a lot of people said I should do Bio-Android, because my avatar is based on Cell after all. But that posed an issue. For one, turning Cell into myself wouldn't really work, and I don't really know how to go about that. Plus, if it was me, I could just cheat the system. It wouldn't really be that fun. Like, realistically, if it was me in there, I would basically find a way to speedrun the whole series, aiming for the Super Dragon Balls and wishing for whatever I want. It's a smart move, but it wouldn't be fun. Another option was to use my avatar as the main character. This purple guy right here. And I like that idea, but the issue is its origin story is really weird. Like, really weird. Trust me. Going off script here, but the whole origin behind it, it's Cell absorbing Mr. Incredible. Yeah, it's a long story. Please don't ask about it. I don't know myself either. But yeah, I don't know how that would work in the story, and if I did it, Mickey Mouse would come to my house and personally kill me because I violated their copyright, so... Yeah, not doing that. Instead, I found a better idea. One that makes an original character based on that avatar. And kind of based on my personality. And no, it's not going to be some super strong hero with all the knowledge Dragon Ball that I have. You'll see as we go forward. So, how are we supposed to put a Bio-Android in the series? Well, let's rewind, and give a little backstory on this new character. Let's go back to after the Red Ribbon arc. As we know, Dr. Gero was one of the survivors of the Red Ribbon Army.
Right.
And then he started creating androids in order to get revenge on Goku. This is where we'll implement a change. Gero is starting to work on his weapon. He wants to make an ultimate android, one strong enough to kill Goku and enact his revenge. And he feels the best way to go about that is to make a bioengineered one. Basically, consider this the beta version of Cell. He wants to try and test it out first. For simplicity, he codenames this project Salad. And he begins his research. Just like he did with Cell, his idea is to get some drones to go out and find out info about all the other fighters around Goku. Maybe that way, he'll gather data on the fighters and their DNA. With all the knowledge of all these fighters, he can create a really strong opponent, using the help of one of his powerful computers and his great mind. It takes a bit of time for him to begin the process, but eventually he has it all planned out, and the 22nd World Tournament comes around. This is where he begins spying, getting DNA and info from Goku, Krillin, and Orochi. Eventually, he sees Tenshinhan too. He seems pretty strong, so he gets data from him as well. And hey, while he's at it, he may also research Yamcha, and even though she's not a fighter, maybe getting some of Bulma's DNA might help. Gathering her intelligence.
He's smart as hell, yeah.
But he still needs more. And luckily for him, this tournament leads into the King Piccolo arc, and he gets some DNA from Piccolo too. This should be good. It'll give this android more evil influence, and it'll give him more power. He even has one of his drones observe Piccolo Jr., who's born right after King Piccolo dies, following him around as he trains, and trying to follow around Goku as he goes to Kami. But the drones can't reach Kami's lookout, so that's kind of an issue there. Although, the 23rd World Tournament gives another opportunity. These drones study more of the fights. Goku versus Chi-Chi, Krillin versus Piccolo, Goku versus Tenshinhan, and Goku versus Piccolo. Plus, the weird encounter between Piccolo and that one guy that was in the tournament, who is actually Kami in disguise. The drones keep an eye on him, and once Kami actually shows up later on, he's actually able to get some DNA from Kami, assuming he's pretty strong because he looks like Piccolo. Probably another one of those demon people. It's been years at this point, and he's gotten a lot of data and DNA. Gero's pretty confident now. The Bio-Android is growing a lot stronger and has some great potential. Right now we're around the end of Dragon Ball, and he starts preparing the android to be born. This is during the time skip between the 23rd World Tournament and the Saiyan Saga. Eventually, the computer finally creates the android, feeding it more info as it's released. But Gero then notices there's an issue. This android is growing too powerful. Gero needs to stop it before it grows too strong. He doesn't want it to be uncontrollable. Plus, it's even getting too strong for the computer's capabilities. It's becoming sentient earlier on than it should have. Gero frantically goes to the computer, trying to fix this issue. But as he does, he hears glass shattering behind him, as all the liquid pours out of the container. There's a massive explosion. Luckily, he's able to make it out alive. But his lab is all but destroyed. Standing there in front of him is a purple humanoid, with very alien-like features. Since he was released early, he's actually in an imperfect state. This isn't how he was intended to be, and Gero fears the worst. If he escaped this early, that means he's probably not going to abide by his commands. This android tries to get a sense of where he is and what he's doing, as Gero tries to control him. The android collects all his thoughts and realizes
Ew.
what's happened. He doesn't want to be controlled by Jiro. He knows Jiro might have a vendetta against him. He's cunning. He's already caught on. Instead, he makes his escape, attacking Jiro to hold him off, hastily getting out of the lab as he grabs some drones to go with him, not really sure what to do now. The android makes it far away, and he's pretty frantic right now. I mean, he's sentient and knows who he is and what he is. He's the amalgamation of all these other people, genetically engineered in order to kill. He hides out in a forest now, not sure what to do. There's thoughts in his head telling him to kill Goku, but there's also other thoughts. His own mind, his consciousness, is overpowering all that. He wants to be independent, but he still struggles to grasp what he really is. Yeah, he knows what he is, but he can't quite accept it. He looks into a pond nearby, getting a glimpse at his appearance. And there he sees something horrific. He looks like a monster. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't even know his own name, if he has one. There's only one codename that he's ever gone by, Salad. And now, we have the birth of a brand new character. He has a bit
Salad.
of evil in him, thanks to both of the Piccolos.
I should do
and
what
the
if
old lady
Domuto
that
was in
Shinran,
Naruto?
He was a bad guy.
That
The
should
reason
be
he's
fire.
even struggling is because the other DNA inside of him. He has people that are pure of heart, specifically Goku and Kami. Kami's one of the big factors though, and that's why I mentioned him before. His DNA is what really jumpstarts Salad. I mean, think about it. He expelled Piccolo from him and he has a purely good heart. He's literally God after all. We'll get into why this is more important later on. Salad doesn't know what to do now, but he decides one thing. He doesn't want to be a pawn to anyone. He doesn't want to be Jiro's device. He wants to be his own person, not a killing machine made for Jiro and only Jiro. But that's the thing. Besides that, he doesn't know what his purpose is. He has immense power and potential, but if he were to go out into society, I mean, look at him. He won't be accepted at all. He's a monster. But maybe he could fix this. He knows he's still imperfect, not at the true potential that Jiro intended. If he aims for that, he could fix himself. But he doesn't know how to do that. See, it's not like Cell where he has to absorb 2 androids to become perfect. The computer was intended to do that for Salad, but he was released before that happened. And now with the lab destroyed and Jiro after him, he's on his own. We'll leave him alone for a bit, and go over to the other characters. We skip to the Saiyan saga. Once Raditz arrives on Earth, he detects a few high powers. One of them's Piccolo. He meets up with him and realizes that this isn't Kakarot. He senses another one though, but it disappears really quickly. It was actually Salad that he was sensing, and Salad sensed that Raditz was getting closer and got worried that he was being hunted. Whoever this guy was pretty strong, and he assumed it was one of Jiro's androids, another one that he made in order to kill Salad. He lowered his power and hid away, hoping that he wouldn't be detected. Raditz doesn't pay any mind to this. His scouter was probably bugging out. So, he forgets it and goes to the other high power, which actually does turn out to be Kakarot. His encounter with Goku and friends goes pretty normal. Piccolo and Goku team up, going to save Gohan from Raditz, and the two rivals begin their fight against the Saiyan. Salad continues hiding out, still worried about this guy. He doesn't know what else this could be. It has to be something that Jiro made. If he really needed to, he can kill Jiro pretty easily. But if Jiro has a new minion, who knows? He doesn't know how that'll turn out. As he's panicking, he then senses a fight, going to see what's happening. It's the same guy he sensed before, and from what keys he could feel, it seems like he's fighting against Goku and Piccolo. This has to be something that Jiro created. There's no way there would be someone this strong on Earth, especially since it's going after Goku. He doesn't want to go close though. He takes one of his drones and hides in the mountain nearby, throwing the drone to go observe the fight. The drones begin collecting data on the fight. This man is unknown, but they study his DNA and bring it back to Salad. He sees that it's an alien like Goku. Yeah, they actually know that Goku's an alien by now. Collecting his DNA, they realize it's not one of an Earthling. It's just too different. Sure, they know he was a monkey boy or something, and it might be attributed to that.
Right.
But a better theory is that he might be from outer space. They don't know for sure though. But what Salad and the drones can tell though, is that this guy has some relation to Goku. Whatever species or mutation that Goku is, this guy is the same thing. Salad begins theorizing. Is it some genetic duplication of Goku that Jiro made in the lab? Or is it actually someone from outer space? The technology he's wearing on his face, and the armor, it's nothing like he's ever seen before. The drones keep observing, and Salad contemplates joining the fight. He doesn't know though, if he does join, he might be attacked by both parties. And what would be the purpose of even joining? He wonders if he should get involved, but before he could even come to a conclusion, Piccolo then launches this attack. Some weird beam that Salad has never seen before, except for earlier in the fight. Piccolo tried this before and it missed, but now it makes a direct hit, hitting Goku and the guy that's now identified as Goku's brother, thanks to the drones picking up their conversations. It looks like he hesitated a bit too much, because now there's no Goku to help. And this invader is dead, but he listens into the conversation and gets a gist of what's happening. And here's something terrifying. This guy's a Saiyan, which he assumes is an alien race that Goku is part of too. Again, he missed a lot of the context, so he's trying to piece this together. From what he hears from Raditz, 2 more Saiyans will arrive in a year, aiming to get their revenge and destroy Earth. He thinks they're screwed. Goku's now dead, and he's not sure himself what to do. He goes to hide away again, sort of in a panic trying to formulate a plan. But he can't keep hiding forever. He contemplates more and realizes what he has to do. If he wants to survive, he's going to have to fight against this Saiyan threat somehow. But there's one big issue. He would have to team up with everyone else, Piccolo and all the humans. He doesn't know if they'll accept him. Maybe they'll see him as a threat, and they'll come to kill him. See, Salad isn't weak. No, he was made strong by Gero. That's pretty obvious. The issue is, he's never been in conflict before or shown off his power. He doesn't really know how much is in there. And that's why he's not too confident right now. But he's slowly beginning to realize, he could harness this. There has to be something more within him. He just needs to learn more about this power. And there's only one person he can think of consulting. If he goes to the humans, they'll probably attack him. He is a threat after all. But maybe there's one person he can relate to. Let's move forward a bit. Out in the wilderness, Piccolo has started his training with Gohan. Gohan is left completely alone, with Piccolo trying to remain low. Piccolo then senses something. An unfamiliar key getting closer. Well, at first it seems unfamiliar, but the more he focuses, the more he gets creeped out. He senses Goku. He senses Krillin, Tenshinhan, Yamcha, a bunch of other powers, and most scary of all, he senses himself, and King Piccolo. The Demon King, and himself, the reincarnation of him. Piccolo thinks this might be another threat coming after him and Gohan. He gets ready to fight. But this figure approaches really casually. He begins questioning who he is and why he's here. He looks like some sort of alien, and Salad tries to get Piccolo to calm down, saying he's not here to fight. But Piccolo's not stupid. He thinks this could be a trick, and he keeps his guard up. He tells Salad to explain quickly or he'll fight. And frantically, he begins speaking, giving an abridged version of his backstory. Piccolo's confused. The Red Ribbon Army, they were destroyed a while ago. And now there's this android, and he has all the DNA of all these people around him. This has to be some sort of joke. He wants to know who this guy truly is. He tells him to start talking before he kills him. But then the two of them hear a voice in their head. It's Kami. Piccolo gets mad, telling Kami to not invade his thoughts like that. But he tells Piccolo to trust him. Salad is surprised. First of all, why is Kami siding with him? And second of all, how does Kami even know who he is?
They've been watching.
Kami begins explaining. He knew of Salad's existence, and know that he's part of Salad now. His DNA is in him after all. Wait, what? This comes as a surprise to both of them. Piccolo's surprised that Kami kept this from everyone, and Salad's surprised that Kami even knew. Obviously, Kami's a pretty smart guy. He always saw those drones flying around. He saw it at the 23rd World Tournament, and the whole reason he noticed it in the first place is because they tried to come up on his lookout. I mean, he does dictate who comes on the lookout after all, and he would see this thing trying to make it up there. That's when he started observing more, eventually finding out about the existence of this android. He senses evil in him, but also good. He's conflicted right now. But more importantly, he tells Piccolo that this guy's telling the truth. Not only about his origin, but about his intention. He wants to help against the Saiyans. And he had a good reason for hiding out this whole time. He tells Piccolo to just sense it. He's one of them. The DNA of both Piccolo's and Kami. The DNA of Goku. Everyone else. And he's trying to get some purpose out of his life. He's not a lab experiment gone wrong. It's an independent, sentient, and conscious being. Reluctantly, Piccolo drops his guard, asking him if he's truly up for the challenge. He saw Raditz after all. And apparently the two people heading to Earth are much stronger than him. Especially because he was made to kill Goku after all. Is he really gonna side with him? And Goku's allies? Salad tells Piccolo that his life is at risk too. If he doesn't do this, Earth will be destroyed and he'll die. And after all, if he truly was after Goku,
it's a good story so far. I like it.
The one thing that he doesn't want to be. Piccolo realizes now that all this is the truth, just like Kami was saying. Well, they have a lot of work to do. Not only does he need to get introduced to everyone else, but it seems he's in a similar situation to Gohan. He doubts his power, but Piccolo and Kami can tell. He has much more potential within him than he knows. And they're going to make use of that. Piccolo will whip him into shape. If he truly wants to be an independent being accepted by others, he'll listen to Piccolo now. When we left off, Salad met Piccolo. With some unexpected help from Kami, he was able to convince the Namekian to help him train. Although no one really knows each other, it seems like they're joining forces now. Salad isn't really too sure what to do, but recognizes that he shouldn't go by what Gero says. Gero wanted him to kill Goku. Why not go against that by helping Goku? Not to mention, it's clear that Goku's not the bad guy here. Salad's not stupid. He knows Gero's the bad one. Goku didn't really do anything wrong. It's all some plot from Gero to get revenge. He brought Salad into this specifically because of that. Therefore, he decided it's best to train with all the heroes. At first, most of his time is spent with Piccolo, who's also trying to juggle training with Gohan. Having an extra training partner is really great, especially because Salad seems pretty strong. No one is too sure about his full strength yet because he's never used it. but Piccolo aims to bring out that latent strength, just like he's doing with Gohan. Not only that, Salad also has a lot of technical prowess. Even though he's never really fought before, I mean, think about it. He's built on all the research from all the other fighters, so he has all their techniques and knows all their fighting styles. He just hasn't used it yet, but as he trains more and more, he begins to realize what truly is in him. It's just as Jiro intended. He's an incredibly strong warrior, but just needs to learn how to control that power and access it. It seems to be all muscle memory, and all he has to do is put that to use. One thing that I didn't really discuss too much in the last part is the intelligence of Salad. Not me, I'm talking about the character. I got like a room temperature IQ, in all honesty.
Right.
Anyways, he has all the knowledge of Jiro, Jiro's computer, and all the other fighters. He'd probably be the smartest in the group, even smarter than Piccolo even. Again, he's also part Bulma. And genetics in Dragon Ball work really weird, so I'm gonna assume he inherits the intelligence too, even though that's not how it will work in real life, but whatever. I'm not gonna question it. Just a weird thing to note. That short spiel aside, his intelligence is actually gonna come in handy. One of the great things is that when Raditz died, they were able to get his scouter. Well, it was all broken into little pieces, but they still got it. And Salad's able to use it and reverse engineer it somehow. Try to get a hold of the tech inside of that, in order to incorporate it within his drones. He's starting to build more and more. Maybe during the battle with the Saiyans, this will come in handy. He can not only gather their DNA, but also get more info on them. Plus, if he implements scouter technology, they could use that power level thing that Raditz had. Although they're not too sure about how that system works, but they'll make do with it. The humans are still kind of wary of Salad. I mean, he is from the Red Ribbon Army after all.
Right.
After some time, they grow to like him more, but still, there is that suspicion. It's just like with Piccolo. They didn't really trust Piccolo right away, and it took a lot of time for him to gain their trust. It would be kind of a similar situation here, especially now with two villains in the group. They come to learn more and more that Salad's actually really powerful, not only in terms of techniques, but all the abilities he has. He has all of Piccolo's abilities, you know, healing, being able to stretch his limbs, all that kind of stuff, not to mention Kami's abilities, and Goku's. Just like how Cell has, he's able to get Zenkais when he gets hurt. Coupled with his regeneration, it's a really helpful thing. Once he gets hurt, he just regenerates and gets stronger. Although, it's not nearly to the extent that Cell has it. And, just like Cell, he doesn't have infinite energy, so it's not like he can do this infinitely. But still, it's useful during training and he knows that he can take advantage of it. Speaking of Goku, he actually wonders what Goku's up to. He hasn't met Goku yet for pretty obvious reasons. But to show whatever he's doing, it's effective. Salad's actually aiming for a new form, if anything. He isn't perfect just like we mentioned in the last part, but he can work his way up there. You see, unlike Cell, it's not like he could just absorb some androids and get perfect that way. No. Salad was released way too early. If he had some more years of development, Jiro was planning for his perfect form to be made right away. The thing is, all of that data and all that info to get to the perfect form is still within Salad. He just doesn't know how to access it. We'll be talking about this more as the scenario goes on.
Okay.
If Salad continues training and collecting data, he hopes that he can reach the perfect form in this way. And who knows, maybe others around him have transformations too. Maybe he can take advantage of that. Who knows though. As training continues, Salad would probably grow close with Gohan and Piccolo. He's around them more than anyone else. And also, I do want to base some of the character off me like I mentioned in the last part. And you guys should all know by now that Piccolo and Gohan are my favorite characters.
Sure.
Let me have this one. Let this one slide. The group has come up with a lot of new strategies in terms of power. Not only are they coming up with great combo attacks, but Salad is helping them grow stronger since he is another strong ally. He splits his time between training with Piccolo and Gohan, as well as training with Kami and all the humans. Kami wanted to make sure that Salad came to see him. Ever since he begun watching Salad, he wanted to make sure that Salad would come to him one day to train. He is part Kami after all. He may as well harness that side of him. Not just because of all the Namekian stuff, but because Kami actually has some great abilities as Guardian. This is a bit harder for Salad to develop, which is why Kami comes in. But he's going to keep this in mind going forward. He can learn some great techniques from Kami and train further to get stronger and learn newer abilities. Abilities that are exclusive to him. But with all that covered, I think we've shown enough of the training. Now we can actually head into the Saiyan saga itself. Of course, Goku's going to be the same strength. Salad would actually be the second strongest of the group. As I mentioned before, he grows incredibly fast, not only due to his data, but because of his biology. He's part Saiyan after all. So let's place him at around 7,000. Piccolo is actually way stronger than he was normally thanks to this great training partner. Plus, with how close he is with Salad, he was training with him more than anyone. That puts him at around 6,000. Gohan actually gets the same effect too, putting him at 3,000. As for the humans, they're around the same, if not a bit stronger. Just for simplicity and to give them a bit of a buff, let's say that they're about 2,000 each. At least Krillin, Tenshinhan, and Yamcha. The group's ready to fight, waiting for the two Saiyans to arrive. Their arrival was pretty much the same. They land in the city, with Nappa destroying it just because he feels like it. He and Vegeta are eventually led to the area where the other fighters are waiting. Already, they've walked into a trap without knowing it. Before the fight even began, Salad already deployed some drones in the area. This way he could study Vegeta and Nappa more effectively, as well as getting DNA samples from them, probably powering himself up even more. And this will also help him adapt easier in the fight, as well as helping others too. Right away, Nappa deployed some Cybermen, with each of them splitting up and trying to go for one of the other fighters. Of course, Nappa knows the Cybermen aren't too strong, but splitting them up should work as a good distraction. It keeps all the fighters occupied. Of course, a lot of the fighters have an easy time taking them on, even defeating some of them. Then the Cybermen decide to explode, and they aim for the weakest fighters. They look over to see Yamcha and Chaozu. And while the Cybermen are involved in their own fights, they all group up on these two. Piccolo and Salad are able to stretch their arms out and grab two of them, flinging them over towards Nappa where they blow up. But some of the other Cybermen got away and couldn't be stopped, killing Yamcha and Chaozu in the process. It was a dirty trick, and by doing this, they were able to actually kill those two. But even then, Nappa's still surprised. They only took out 2 fighters. The rest of them were fine, and if anything, that only served to anger them. Plus, when Piccolo and Salad grabbed 2 of them and threw them at Nappa, they injured him a bit, although it wasn't that bad. But still, that served to piss him off too. Both groups are angry, especially Tenshinhan and Krillin. But with the Cybermen now gone, that obviously means it's Nappa's turn to fight. The person he faces off against is Piccolo. He assumes that Piccolo is one of the stronger ones there, but still weak enough for him to defeat. This should also be interesting. The Namekian and then whatever that other purple thing is. Nappa doesn't really care about fighting the humans. They won't be fun to battle. Piccolo's confident that he can take on Nappa alone, and he's right. The two go into battle right away, pacing themselves. At first, it actually starts out as kind of a balanced fight. The two of them trade blows and are impressed with each other's power.
Right.
Not that they're going to commend each other or anything. It's just worth noting. They acknowledge the other's strength and begin powering up more during the fight. Nappa notices on a scouter that Piccolo's power is climbing. At first it was only about 1,000. Now it's climbing to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000. No, that's gotta be a mistake. Before he can even comprehend what he's seeing, Nappa's punched in the face by Piccolo, now fully powered up. He loses sight of Piccolo until he appears behind Nappa, hitting him with another powerful attack. Supportive material shows that Nappa's actually at a power of 4,000. And with Piccolo at 6,000, well, that's a pretty considerable gap. Enough for Piccolo to easily overwhelm the Saiyan, then killing him. Even though he was able to defeat Nappa pretty easily, there's still an issue. First of all, 2 of the fighters already died, including Chaozu, who can't be revived again. And now, Vegeta will be the one to fight next, and Goku still hasn't arrived yet. They need more time, but Vegeta's angered and ready to battle. It looks like they're just gonna have to hold him off for a bit until Goku arrives, but he might be here soon. They could sense him. They just need to buy a few more minutes. The group all bonds together, ganging up on Vegeta. Salad uses some drones to look at the power levels of everyone, calculating that maybe collectively they might stand a chance. Actually, if you combine everyone's powers, they're stronger than Vegeta collectively. But the issue is power levels aren't everything, plus all those powers are split up amongst everyone, making things tougher. At best, all they can really do right now is hold him off. But Salad begins thinking of an idea. They might not need to do that. In the midst of battle, he throws something on the ground quickly, then standing back as he takes on a certain posture. He tells everyone to move out of the way and they jump away from Vegeta, as Salad then yells Mafuba. This is something he picked up from Kami, and I guess Tenshinhan and Roshi too, but mainly Kami. He actually has perfect mastery over this technique, and he thinks that maybe using it against Vegeta is their best bet. And it seems like it's going to work. He draws his arms down, sealing Vegeta in the container. And just as he's about to seal it, a massive explosion occurs. They don't know where it came from or who did it, but it negated the technique. Vegeta's now freed. They all look over and see. It turns out Piccolo didn't actually finish the job against Nappa. He's still alive. Well, not anymore. He used the last of his power to free Vegeta. Hoping that Vegeta will be able to kill everyone in avenge, he used his giant storm attack, using up the last of what little energy he had left, and now he's actually dead. But this kind of messed things up. Vegeta was weakened by the Mafuba, and doesn't know what exactly happened, but he's angrier now, even angrier than he was before. Just to make sure that doesn't happen again, he shoots the container that Salad used. No more cheap tricks. Enraged, he lunges towards the group, but is suddenly hit in the back of the head by someone's elbow. Everyone looks on with a smile as they see Goku's here, glad that he's finally back. Although, Goku's a bit confused. Who's this purple guy? Oh wait, King Kai actually told him a bit about Salad, but he didn't know too much himself. He heard he was some strong guy that the Red Ribbon Army made, kinda like Android 8 he compares him to. He'd like to learn more about this guy, but of course they're in the middle of a fight right now, and Vegeta's only angrier, especially now that he sees Kakarot here. But this just turned the tide of the battle. Instead of just holding Vegeta off, having Goku here means they can actually defeat him in a battle. He's a bit concerned about the synergy of their fight, but they tell him not to worry. Everyone's been training together and they have great synergy. And as for Salad, he could perfectly replicate Goku's style, having studied it for basically his whole life. That's kind of weird, but also kind of cool. Goku won't question it, though. That's going to be a big help here.
Sounds about right.
Quickly, Vegeta begins losing ground. Now he has all these people against him, and with Kakarot there, that's just the boost in power that they needed. He was a bit injured from the Mafuba too, wearing him out a bit. Goku would have loved a great one-on-one fight, but with all these other people here, and the severity of this situation, they realized they needed to defeat Vegeta right away. And even though Vegeta is close to defeat, he still has one last trick up his sleeve. Quickly, he creates a fake moon, throwing it up at the sky, then transforming into a Grade 8, before anyone even realized what happens. Salad immediately recognized this, wondering if that means he, Goku, and Gohan will transform too. Of course, Gohan transforms, but since he doesn't have a tail and Goku doesn't, they stay fine. He doesn't actually know too much about this ability. Obviously, he's never seen the artificial moon or anything like that, or any antics with the Uzaru form. But thankfully, Kami actually filled everyone in. They know that the tail is a weak spot, and in order to negate this transformation, they just need to cut that off. It's simple enough, and Salad has a great idea. He splits himself into two. The copy of Salad is a lot weaker, so he doesn't have to give up too much power. He'll use his main body to help the others and distract Vegeta, while the other one's gonna go cut off the tail. As for Gohan, right now he's fighting Vegeta and acting as the main distraction, with Krillin confident enough to try and cut off Gohan's tail himself. He and Salad's clone coordinate their attack. Together, both of them create a Kienzan. Gohan doesn't notice because he's completely berserk right now in this state. Obviously Vegeta has full control, but he doesn't notice Salad because he didn't know that he made a clone. So, just as quickly as he transformed, he returns back to normal. And with that done, he has no means of escaping, no way to win, and no other tricks up his sleeve. He's on the ground at the mercy of everyone, and most of them think that they should kill Vegeta, but Goku decides they might want to spare him, just like he did originally. I feel like not much about that decision would change, and they would all trust Goku's judgment as Vegeta goes away. But still, there are some differences with how this arc ends. For one, Goku was a lot less injured here. Instead of basically his entire body being broken, he's in pretty good shape. Sure, he has a little bit of injuries, but it's not that bad. Same goes for everyone else too. Not to mention, Tenshinhan and Piccolo are alive. Originally they died. And obviously Salad's here too. But they didn't get off scot-free. Yamcha and Chaozu are gone. Sure, they could revive Yamcha, but they'd still have to wait a year for the Dragon Balls. But as for Chaozu, that's kind of an issue. He's already been revived once, so they can't do it again with the Dragon Balls on Earth. But Krillin has a great idea of where they can go to find more. Namek. If Namek actually has Dragon Balls like Earth, maybe they could revive Chaozu and Yamcha. And they wouldn't have to wait a year to revive Yamcha either. It's a good idea and it might actually work. And with Goku in great shape, and more fighters overall, it may be a safe trip. Or at least, they hope so. They begin planning for this. And in the meantime, let's go over to Dr. Gero. We haven't touched upon him since the last part, but he's still around waiting, trying to think of what to do. He still does want to kill Goku, but he also wants to find Salad and kill him too. He can't have one of his creations running around like this. He doesn't know what Salad's up to. Maybe Salad's planning revenge against him. Maybe he'll try to take over the world. He doesn't know. But he knows that he wants Salad gone. But what would be strong enough to defeat him? He doesn't want to try another bio-android because that failed miserably the first time. This time he could actually make an android but using a human blueprint. That might actually work better. He begins working on androids earlier on, using some human test subjects. He has his eye on two people that he's going to kidnap and turn into androids. Twins named Lapis.
I forgot he kidnapped these niggas.
But he also has a brand new android that's going to join his ranks. A former enemy of Goku's. One that has great fighting abilities and a reason to kill Goku. Lapis and Lazuli would be great backup plans, as androids 17 and 18. But more importantly, Jiro's new ally is someone to watch out for. A certain mercenary that already got turned into a cyborg, with Jiro promising to improve the cyborg parts greatly.
Alright, I like the story. Alright, Salad Saiyan, putting yourself in the story. I like shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I like shit. So, I can't wait till the next part. I think we watched part 1 and 2. So, let me know how y'all feel so far about it down below. And, sorry I wasn't talking much this video. I get into the story, man. I'm trying to listen to the parts and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, if you like my reactions, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.